Hello, it is another Thursday morning and the first day of spring here where I am in the US. Very happy to have made it to spring. We got some blooms, a little chilly in the air, but that's spring here. Love seeing some green on the trees and some white on the dogwoods, and just that feeling of lightness returning. So it's a lovely thing to drop in with this morning. Last time I dropped in by pulling a card from my Dear Creative Doodle deck, and I'm going to do it again. I really kind of enjoyed that. I feel like it gave us a nice direction or stimulated some good thoughts to doodle around. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pull another card. Again, as always, feel free to either um, use what I'm sharing on this card, or if you came with something else you want to drop in about, or if you don't want to drop in about anything at all, you just want to drop in and doodle, all is welcome. All is welcome there. So, all right, I'm just going to shuffle this a little bit and see what I pull this morning. And it's always a fun part. I've given so many of these cards away, though, I have to go get another deck. They're kind of a fun little thing to do is give a person one card as you meet them if it feels it feels good to you. All right, so the one I'm pulling today is this one. All right. This is actually something I was just talking to a client about yesterday. Dear creative, the source of us is not always something completely novel. We love to combine what already exists in new ways. Love your creative ideas. There we go. The source of us is not always something completely novel. We love to combine what already exists in new ways. I love this. I love this. Okay, so let's drop in with that. I'm gonna prop that up. Oh, actually, I'm propping that up on my marker thing, and that's not going to be very good because yeah, I'm going to be using all those markers and knocking it over 5 million times. Oh, let's take some nice deep breaths to help us drop in and gather ourselves in this present moment. As you take some deep breaths in, feel yourself sink into your chair or whatever you're sitting in. As you feel your body sink in to whatever you're sitting on, sort of call back your energy and your thoughts and everything to this moment. Feel where your body hits what you're sitting on. And just notice how much is available to you right here and now when you do that. Relax your face muscles, your neck, your shoulders, your head, your forehead, your stomach, back. Feel your sit muscles just sink in. Maybe move your feet to the ground. Hmm, that feels good in and of itself. Maybe bring a little smile to your lips if you want to, or think or feel the essence of a smile if that feels good. If you're upset, you don't have to do that. But sometimes I just feel like a little smile when I return all my thoughts and energy to the present moment. It just feels good, no matter what's going on. All right. So, time to blink your eyes open and start doodling whatever comes to mind for you. If a curiosity or a challenge rose up, go with it. If you're thinking about what I read on the card, you can go with that. If you just want to doodle, if you don't know where to start, um, yeah, you can think of a simple shape to repeat until it takes you somewhere new. What comes to mind because of what I read for me, so you can take this if it helps you, is combine that idea of combining things in new ways is really juicy to me. So I'm going to draw three simple shapes, whatever comes to mind first, and then play with how they might connect. So we're going to do this for about 10 minutes ish, and then we'll come together and reflect for a few minutes before doodling some more. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Spring is sprung. Allergies kicking in already. I hope that's not what it is. Remember, we don't need this to look like anything or be good or make any sense. Letting ourselves drop within, being curious about what might happen on your page. Go for another minute or so before pausing. All right, let's try to find a space to pause. Come back to it. I think it's really nice to take a little breather sometimes just to see what's coming up for you, even if it's not done, whatever that means. um, so yeah, here's mine so far. Uh, yeah, it's really curious. The three shapes that came to mind right away. The first was a cloud, and then I saw a spiral, and then I saw these circles. And as I started to uh, let them sort of emerge however they wanted to emerge, I think it's really interesting thinking about the card, right? Because the card was talking about that we don't always have to come up with this totally original thing. A lot of times creativity thrives off of putting things that already exist together. And that made me think about how there's so much that's hidden right before your eyes. Like we always think we have to think of the new thing. Um, or maybe as a creative, if you're anything like me, you're chasing after that new idea and thinking that's the only thing that's going to make you like happy and satisfied is to do something completely new. Um, but sometimes it's just a matter of changing your perspective. It's almost like looking at clouds in a different way. I think that's why clouds came up first for me. just changing your perspective a little, and suddenly it is novel. It is a little different, just changing your perspective, and it kind of draws you back in again. At least that's my experience. So curious how your reflections are going. Again, if you see nothing, that's fine. If it doesn't make you think of anything, but you have just paused and doodled and felt yourself drop into you, then it has done so much for you already. But we're going to continue for about another 10 minutes if you'd like to stick around. If not, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I do want to mention before I send you anybody off, that next week at the same time is a doodle drop in, but it's also when you can use the Google Meet link and be in the Google Meet room with me. And we'll have a couple minutes, a little bit of time after we doodle drop in to kind of talk to each other and discuss a little bit. So if you'd like to join me for that, that is next week, and you can go to my Substack page, doodlediary.substack.com, and you can click on the Doodle drop-in link, and it's in there. The link is in there. This information is there. All right. For those of you who want to doodle a little bit longer, let's drop back in with a nice breath. Oh, I just feel like a little movement, a little stretching. If that feels good to you, you can do it. And whenever it feels good to you, you can open your eyes and keep playing with the same doodle or move on to another, whatever feels good. We're not holding too tightly to rules here. few more minutes, about 3 more minutes for the second doodle part. And just letting yourself be curious about where it's going, not needing it to look like anything. You don't even have to like it. You don't even have to like it. Not really about that, is it? Dropping in is just allowing yourself to be with whatever is going on inside of you and being with whatever shows up on our page as we doodle is a great way to practice that. And that way, not liking what's showing up on your page can be a really powerful practice. Because sometimes we very much avoid dropping in because we know we're not going to like what we see or feel when we drop in. Not all rainbows and butterflies in there, that's for sure. But if you doodle while you drop in and see some things that are not your favorite, the doodling can help to keep your nervous system a little calmer, to increase your capacity to be with whatever is. And that is very powerful practice. Not only good for us on a human level, but also really, really good for your creativity. That stuff is the stuff that creating loves to transform or alchemize, channel into something, sort of the raw material it likes to work with sometimes, oftentimes. Just another minute here on this doodle before we pause to reflect. Finding a place to pause for now. I can always return to it, keep going long after I'm done, whatever works for you. All right, so I'm just going to invite you to pause and notice things about your doodle. Whatever you notice is fine. Maybe it just makes you feel a certain way. You feel happy looking at it, or calm, or curious, or maybe it validates some not so pleasant feelings or thoughts you have going on inside, or reflects back to you some meaningful pieces of wisdom or insight. Um, yeah. So the card that I read at the beginning was this notion that creativity loves to take existing things. It doesn't always have to be something completely original. It can take existing things, and that it loves to play with those things. And sort of what's coming up for me as I was reflecting on the second part of the doodle was just that. Like sometimes we run off to new things because there's something in what is existing that's a little challenging to sit with. And that new thing is feels very enticing because we don't have to actually deal with it, right? But if creativity loves to play with things that are challenging or hard, then what new things might be created out of what is already there for you? Um, what's coming up inside of you or what's existing in your circumstances? And yeah, so that's sort of what here's what mine came to. I'm still going to play with that idea as I reflect further. In my image, I'm just really seeing things appearing out of a cloudy sky, which is very, yeah, speaks to what is coming up, what I'm thinking about in terms of this card and dropping into oneself in a doodle or in life in general. So, always curious to hear what your reflections brought up for you. Please do feel free to share them with me if you want to send me a message, or even send me a picture. I love seeing people's doodles. And just a reminder that next week is the fourth Thursday of the month. So that means that you can click on the Google Meets link, which you can find if you go to doodlediary.substack.com. There's a tab that says Doodle Drop In. And you could click on that Google Meet link next week and actually be in the Google Meet space with me. And after we're done doodling together, we can talk about it for a little bit. So that's an open invitation for you. I hope you have a wonderful week and get a lot of juicy insights, ideas, and inspiration from what you doodle today. Take care, everyone.